Hello again, everybody. Revolver Guy here. Uh, just want to do a quick video today about something I've been thinking about. Uh, the title of this video is "Are We in a Cold Civil War?" And my contention is that we are, in fact, in a cold civil war. Civil War 2.0, as some people are calling it. This cold civil war started really probably before then, but actually, if I had to give it a date, I would say November 2016. Of course, right after the election. Uh, Even before then, the Democrat Party they were doing things that were probably illegal. I mean, obtaining illegal warrants through FISA, and most everybody knows what they did. And I'm not I'm not going to hold the Republicans harmless either. They've done just as many dirty things over the years. But this is a big thing. I talked about it yesterday in the video about how the elites, super rich, and how they want to control us. Well, there's more than one faction that wants to control us, and the what people might call deep state or people that are power hungry, they don't want to give up control any more than anybody else. So here we are in the middle of this Cold War now. Things have really heated up, and I'm gonna go over a few things to kind of explain my point of view, and I'd love to hear what you have to say about it. The first thing that happened, other than the protesting, the widespread protesting and everything, I mean, it was just ridiculous. Some of the stuff we saw with people wearing those hats and everything. The first real thing I saw was when Trump nominated Justice Kavanagh for the Supreme Court. I mean, they attacked this man every which way they could, and they used a person that couldn't even remember what happened, when it happened, or even where it happened. There's no doubt it was just a fake play to try to hurt Trump, to try to stop something. What they wanted to stop was conservatives being added to the Supreme Court, because they know that a conservative Supreme Court will hurt them for years and years to come. And that's another reason why they're trying so hard to keep Trump out this November election. They don't want him replacing Ruth Bader Ginsburg, because if he does with a real conservative, and I'm not talking about John Roberts, he's a sellout. But if they do replace her with a real conservative, they're in trouble, and they know it. The Supreme Court is actually the final say in everything. Everything that goes through, every lawsuit, every law that's challenged, it goes through that Supreme Court. And they truly probably are the most powerful branch of government when it's all said and done. So the second thing that came along was, of course, Stormy Daniels and all this stuff. Did Trump do it? Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know. It's what he did before he's president. It's none of my business. None of us are without sin. We've all done things we shouldn't have done. So that was just another chink in his armor, trying to bring him down. Of course, even before all this, but after the Stormy Daniels thing is when it really started to heat up, was the whole Russian collusion. And in that came the Ukraine phone call, and it all combined together. All these facts they had really weren't facts. They were just presumptions. And of course, all that led to the impeachment, which was a partisan impeachment. It was a joke, and everybody knows it. They had nothing to impeach Trump for. And if they did, I would have said, sure, impeach him. If he's done something that bad, then he needs to be impeached. He needs to be removed from office. Then, it's funny how right after this impeachment, here comes this pandemic. Here comes this coronavirus, this China virus. And it hits this country like a ton of bricks. Uh, Going on to the sixth thing, what does it cause? It crushes the economy.
Yep.
And it has hurt our economy. It's hurt our production of food. Uh, and of course, millions and millions of job losses. And of course, all in time for this election year. And then when it looks like Trump maybe will just make it out of that, here comes all the riots and civil unrest. Now, these riots and civil unrest have been furthered by the Democratic governors and mayors in this country. I mean, they have stood by, told their police force to stand down, and allowed buildings to be burned, looters to steal, and police officers to be murdered. And every one of them should be held accountable for that. But of course, then again, it's all about removing Trump. It's all about the deep state getting their power. Because truthfully, power is more important than money. If you have power, the money will come to you. So, with all that said, my biggest question, I guess, is why is Trump failing to act on anything? I really haven't seen him do anything. Why has he not went into Seattle and stopped this nonsense? He doesn't want to look like the bad guy. He's up for re-election. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I guess maybe I can understand that a little bit. But there's no way that any group of people should be able to take over 6 city blocks in a police precinct in one of our major cities in this country. But they've been allowed to, and they're still there doing it today. The wild card in all this, of course, is the media. The media, for the most part, does nothing but bash Trump, run stories negative. Of course, their goal is to make sure he doesn't get reelected.
Mm-hmm.
The politicians on both sides knew that Trump would never be removed from office. It was just a chink in his armor to try to hurt him. And I am worried about what's coming up next because they are whispering about more lockdowns and worried about the numbers of this coronavirus rising. And folks, this whole thing's a joke. It really is. I'm not saying that the coronavirus doesn't kill people. Of course it does. But if you look at the numbers, somewhere in the neighborhood of about 84 to 85% of the deaths are people 65 years and older. Most of them with health conditions, obviously. While they're only about 20% of the cases. Which means if you are under 65 years old and you're fairly healthy, your chances of dying from this are very, very slim. Less than 1%, less than chance of dying from the flu. So what they've done, they've played their games, they've scared everybody, and a lot of people buy everything the media says, and it's really sad that they do that. And the media is pushing this entire narrative of the Civil War, of people demonstrating, and demonstrating is fine, but then it goes to rioting and looting and murdering and taking over cities in this country. You know, and I have my little boy here with me. I've got him here with me because I want him to know what's going on in this world. He doesn't have to be scared of it. There's nothing to be scared of. What we have to do is keep planning, keep preparing, and be ready for the fight anytime. I don't want to be in a civil war, in a hot civil war with my fellow Americans. Because I'm afraid that what really has gone down, especially with the media and the way they've been, is they have divided this country. They've made the left think that we hate them and that we're out to get them. We're against them. We're against civil liberties, and it's just not true. You know, it just isn't. They use race and class and everything else to divide us, jerk our chain, and they're getting what they want, unfortunately. And I hope that people will start seeing things. I hope if enough people spray videos like this around and everybody realizes that, hey, we're being played. And we're being played by the super powerful who control the media. And until people do, I don't see things getting any better. It may only get worse. Anyway, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this. What do you think about us being in a cold civil war? Do you think it's happening now? What do you think about a hot civil war starting? Will it happen? Lord, I pray every day it doesn't. But thank you for watching. And remember, all gun laws are unconstitutional.